This morning on Tuesday, April 7th, we're doing Math 6, and Desmond, we're on Lesson 108. That looks like it's going to be page 260 in your workbook. So let's go ahead and get started with that. We're continuing on with ratios, and today we're going to talk about proportions. A proportion is an equation which states that two ratios are equal. So if we say they're proportional, we're going to say that their ratios are equal. Okay? So Mrs. Winter's 6th grade class plans to make clay models of Mount St. Helens. They will use the recipe that Mrs. Winter found in a science book. Mrs. Winter needs 2 cups of flour to make 4 volcanoes. How many cups does she need to make 30 volcanoes? And I bet you are figuring that out in your head right now. I'm going to write the steps to do a proportion, and although I think you can probably do most of this in your head, I want you to practice writing these down, because as they get harder, we need to know how to do the process. So we do the simple ones on the board, and then that teaches you how to be able to write the harder ones when you get to them. So I really want you to write these down and to practice them. Okay, so 2 cups of flour for 4 volcanoes. So 2 is to 4. Now I'm going to put cups of flour here, and I'm going to put volcanoes here, because I want to make sure that flour is my numerator and volcanoes becomes my denominator. Okay, and I'm going to set this ratio equal to my other ratio that I'm trying to find out. And what information did they give us? How many cups does she need to make 30 volcanoes? So this is our question. How many cups does she need to make 30 volcanoes? Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and mark this one with an N. That's a number we don't know. That's the number we're trying to solve for. So what we can do when we're trying to solve is once we have our proportion set up, we can cross multiply. Do you remember how we were checking them last week? We would multiply up. Okay, so 4 times n equals what? 4n, or 4 times n. Okay, and then we multiply it this way. 30 times 2 equals 60, right? So now let's rewrite this problem. 60 equals 4 times n. Okay, now if we're thinking about math fact families, then we would say that 4 times n is the same thing. We can find n by saying what? 60 divided by 4 will give us n, because n times 4 equals 60. Okay, so then we need to do 60 divided by 4. Okay, go out to the side if you need to do that, but we should get 15. 15 what? Because this is a word problem, we need to make sure we label it. Well, if it goes right here, I can look over and see that it's cups of flour. 15 cups of flour. Okay. Let's see. That's really the only example they give us. Let's do number 1, though, on your practice before you get started, so we can just do one more together. I don't think one example is probably enough. So here in the example, they give us n over 24 equals 9 over 36. Okay, and we're solving for n. Okay, and so let's see about maybe reducing this number. Okay, let's see if we can go ahead and reduce this fraction before we mess with it, and see if this makes our problem any easier. Well, I know that both of these will divide by 9. 9 divided by 9 is 1, and 36 divided by 9 is 4. Okay, so let's go ahead and mark those out, and let's deal with this much simpler problem. 4 times n is 4 times n equals 24 times 1, so 24. 4 times what equals 24? Or 24 divided by 4 equals n. And n equals 6. and this would be my answer. So on your notebook paper, it should look like this. Write the problem that you see. Do your work moving down, and then make sure you're circling your answer. That way I can check your work. You've been doing a really good job of writing your answer here and then putting the line and doing your work over here. But I really want you to work on not doing this procedure and moving into a frame for pre-algebra. And we're going to work line by line going down. Okay? So do your first one and check and see if your process looks like mine. And then for your work today, let's go ahead and do 1 through 20, and it'll give you some good review of multiplying decimals. Let me know if you need help. Have a good day.